Good morning. This is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and the new training website, secureagentmentor.com. This is another episode of Six Figure Focus, where we come to you with a new episode focusing on you making six figures. And to make six figures, as we spoke yesterday, you got to make it every day, every week, every month, and every year. Your mindset and your focus has to be to make six figures. Your goals have to reflect that you want to make six figures, and that you have to do the things on a daily basis, whatever it takes to make six figures. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the appointment process. And I always like to break it down into 4 points, but we have a lot of new agents with Secure Agent Mentor. Even in the local office here in Springfield, Missouri, here at Secure Agent Mentor, a lot of the agents maybe have not been in the business before, or they've been in the business before, but no one really broke it down and simplified it. Again, as I mentioned yesterday with the 3 A's of overcoming objections, agree, answer, and ask, this is another episode of something that I've kind of just not created, but just came up with on my own. Because I love to break things down into its simplest form. And I think if you do that, it's easier to repeat something. And if you can ever get good or repeat something or become consistent, you have a better chance of reaching your goals and doing what you want to do. And so I break down the appointment process into 4 different steps, which we're going to go over those 4 different steps today. The first step is always what I call the warm-up. And it's extremely, extremely important. The warm-up is arguably the most valuable piece. Because if there's no warm-up, especially if you're in someone's home, you just jump right into selling them something. There's no connection. There's no chemistry. You don't know why they're buying the insurance. You don't know if they've got some kids involved, some grandkids. One thing that we always do is that I always like to kind of look at we'll just say this: the warm up starts when the very first moment that you pull into their driveway. The warm-up starts from that very moment because they could be outside. They could be peeking through the windows. You just do not know. The warm-up starts the very moment you pull onto their property. And then once you do that, you're able to actually start to build a relationship with them. And I'm going to pull up my appointment process here so that I can talk intelligently about what we're going to discuss, which is also extremely important, is the 4-step appointment process. The first one's I'll go ahead and give you the 4 so you can write them down, give them some space, and then fill in between each one. The first one's warm up. The second one's fact finding. The third is building value and presenting. And the 4th is the close and wrap up and cool down. So again, warm up is number 1, fact find is number 2, build value and present is number 3, and close and cool down. So we're going to start with warm up, which I feel like is the best place to start. With the warm up, something I'm always doing is I'm always complimenting the person. Thank you for allowing me in your home. You have a very beautiful home. Thank you for allowing me to visit with you today. Thanks for allowing me to come be with you. I'll ask them some questions like, how long have you lived here? Where are you originally from? I also like to ask questions about the area, the weather, family, work, recreation, whatever the case is. And every time it's different. But you don't want to spend too long. You don't want it to be rehearsed or sound scripted by any means whatsoever. I've been with agents where it's just all scripted the whole time. It's like, that's just boring. No one's going to get excited about that. And so in the warm-up process, you want to take a couple of minutes. I always say about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 minutes, never any more than 10. There's a lot of agencies across the nation that preach, hey, warm up for 30 minutes. No one wants to warm up for 30 minutes. We're in the fast food industry, the fast food technology age, so to speak. Everyone wants a decision. No one wants to sit there and talk for 30 minutes. It's very rare that's the case. Now, you're running into that person that just loves to talk. Well, that's more of them talking than you warming them up. which is okay because we have to listen. That's an important piece of what we do. We have to be good listeners. So the first part's always warming up. You're listening to them, you're asking questions, you're building chemistry, and you're getting to know them. The second part is fact-finding. Fact-finding is extremely important because in this section, you got to figure out what they need, what they want, what they can afford, how their health is. And for anyone that wants this appointment process sheet where I've got all these questions already typed up and printed and actually on a PDF, I can email it to you. Feel free to email me at cody.askins@secureig.com. Again, cody.askins@secureig.com. I will email this to you absolutely free, and I'm sure it'll be on our new website here in the next few weeks. So during the fact-finding process, one of the questions I always love to start with is, what got you thinking about life insurance? What got you thinking about purchasing life insurance? What's important to you, and why is life insurance important to you? I mean, there's a lot of questions we can ask, but I love to find out what got them thinking about it. What prompted them to take action? What's the purpose of this coverage? Do you want to cover burial, final expenses, mortgage, debt, leave money to your family, cover income for a spouse? What's your goal in this? In a perfect world, what would you love for this to accomplish? How much coverage do you feel like you need? One of the things that's these next couple of questions is kind of funny. I end up asking, well, actually, these next three questions most agents would never ask. I always want to know who they want their beneficiary to be before I ever even give them a quote. That's a closing question, a buying sign if they actually answer that and they already know that. There's a good chance they're going to buy. The second question I always like to ask is, what can you afford to spend on a monthly basis? What's your budget for this? What are you comfortable spending? If I can get an answer to that question, I know that that's going to go very well and that I'm probably going to get a sale. Also, the third question is, are you planning to pay for this for the whole year with a check, or would you just prefer it to come out of your checking account on a monthly basis? Which of those would you rather? I mean, what I'm wanting to accomplish with that specific question is, what's funny is I'm wanting to figure out if they have a checking account. I don't want to sell a lot of insurance or really any to people that don't have checking accounts. Those policies are extremely high chance of lapsing. I don't want to deal with people that have these little debit or credit cards or whatever. I mean, like the Social Security Direct Express MasterCard. I'd rather not deal with those. I have clients on the books that use those, but I can tell you this. Probably more than half of those that I've written with that specific scenario are not on the books anymore. So the retention's horrible. I just don't love that kind of business. So I want to know up front how they're going to pay. Those are three questions that no other agents ask in the warm-up or in the fact-finding, in the fact-finding process, in the fact-finding segment is, hey, who's your beneficiary going to be? How much can you afford to spend? And do you have a checking account? I mean, that's crazy. That's taking it to a whole nother level where you are expecting people to buy. You're assuming they're going to buy, and you are making a serious decision. The next part is, I always want to figure out, how's their health? How's your health? Have you ever been diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, COPD? Do you use any oxygen, a wheelchair, cane, walker? I mean, what's up? How's your health? Do you take any medications? I always want to list their meds. I don't care if they say, well, I don't have one. They can always get you whatever they want. I've got, I don't have a list per se. So it's like, okay, in that case, well, just grab me your meds and I'll write them down. You can get answers to the questions that you're going to ask. You just got to ask intelligently, and you got to ask multiple times. I also want to know their height and weight, their age, whether they use tobacco, if there's anything else health-wise going on, if they had any surgeries ever. If there's anything that I'm missing, I want to know up front. I want to be very informed before I start giving quotes, just in case they don't have a checking account, just in case they did have a heart attack 3 years ago. All these things I need to know before I give them a quote so that my quote is actually accurate. Otherwise, it's not going to be. The third portion is the building value and presenting. In the building value and presenting, I'm wanting to build the value of what I have to offer. I'm going to go over this little five benefit presentation. I tell them, hey, number one, your coverage is locked in. Number two, there's a price lock. Number three, double accident. Number four, builds cash value. And number five, you get a local agent. I'm writing those five things on a sheet of paper in front of them, one at a time, and going over why each one of those are important. And then I'm asking them, hey, which one of those do you like the best? Which of those 5 things do you feel like are the most important to you? I can gauge interest. I can figure out how to close by seeing which portion of that they love. If they love the price lock, then I'm not going to sell them something that doesn't have a price lock. If they love that it builds cash value, then I'm probably not going to show them a term. I mean, just those are ways you can gauge what they like about a policy. So I'm also going to find out, more about why they're wanting to do this and why having a local agent like myself that can shop 160 companies, why that's important. It's all about building value of yourself in their eyes, finding out what's important to them, and really getting down to the nitty gritty. Because and then I'm presenting. I'm literally writing those 5 things down. If it's say it's a final expense life insurance appointment, and I'm finding out what they want to do. I'm starting to give them quotes. I normally, sometimes I'll write down 3 quotes, a low, middle, and high. I'll explain each option. Which one of these do you like the best? Well, I'm jumping into the close, which is something you want to do immediately when you're presenting. Most agents do not close. You can use the assumptive close. All right, let's see if we can get you approved. What's your full legal name? You can, a lot of people say, I want to think about it. I need some time, whatever. You need it, want it, you can afford it, and you're going to purchase at some point in the future. So let's take time out of the equation and let's see if we can get you approved, okay? Or call me back. Leave it with me and call me back later. I apologize, ma'am. We do not do callbacks. You have all the information you need to make an informed decision today. Why don't you just take it? Those are all different types of closes. That's the Brian Tracy no callback close. There's tons of different closes. There's the underwriting close. I'm not sure which one I want. Well, let's see if we can get you approved. If you were gonna choose one, and you were gonna pick one, which one would you go ahead and pick? If you were gonna make a decision, which one would you have went with? They're gonna tell you. If you ask questions like that, most agents are scared to. You're gonna get the answers to the questions that they won't answer for you. We have to get answers to our questions so we know what's going on. So that's the building value and presenting. You have to build value in their eyes. You have to find out what's important to them and build the value of what you have to offer in a presenting way while you're pulling up quotes and while you're presenting quotes. So once you're presenting quotes, you want to jump right into the close. You want to literally immediately ask. If you do not ask for them to buy, they will not buy. It's very rarely that you could say, but you got to think about it. Even when you're given 3 options and saying which one of these do you like the best, that's extremely passive. It's not aggressive at all. But they're still gonna answer your question. You're still closing. It's just you're doing it a different way. Some clients I can tell, hey, I need to be a little more passive. I can get the sale, but I need to be a little more passive. Some clients I can say, okay, I need to be more aggressive. If I'm aggressive, I can get the sale. And so you got to know every situation's different. You got to know your client. You got to know your clientele. You can tell by every one of those what type of close you need to do, how you need to respond, how you need to answer their questions, what's important to them, and every appointment's different. You can't just have a canned process and a canned system and a one close that you try on everyone, because it's not going to work. You've got to know different closes, and it's got to be different for every single person. Now that also brings you to the end, which is wrapping up and cooling down, which is one of the more important parts, and most people don't do. You got to ask confirming questions. You got to ask for referrals, and you got to cool down. Are you happy with your decision today? Is there any reason why you wouldn't keep this for the rest of your life? I'm going to ask you a question, and someone's going to pop in your head. Who's the one person that can also use our help? Who just popped in your head? They're going to give you an answer. Someone's going to pop up in their head because you're going to tell them that's going to. You're going to plant someone in their head, and that's how you can get referrals. There's a lot of ways to get referrals, but I love asking them, hey, do you feel like you received value from what we did here today? And then I also kind of explain the process as far as what's going to happen now. I'm going to take the application back. I'm going to submit it to the company. I'm going to call the nurse. She's going to come out and do a physical. And if they need records, we're going to get records. At the earliest, this is a 2 or 3 week process, or at the longest, we're looking at 8 to 12 weeks. You have a clean health history, so I imagine about a 3 to 5 week process, just to be conservative. Does that sound fair to you? Do you have any questions? Are there any questions I haven't answered that you have? I give them a business card. I always ask for referrals. I'm making sure that they're satisfied. Now, are you comfortable with the price that you're about to pay? You're 100% satisfied with everything we've done. Is there anything you would change? Is there anything that you wish you could do different? I want to know these things before I leave. Now, some agents say, well, I don't want to ask them because they may change their mind. They may cancel. They may not buy. Okay, well, they may cancel or change their mind or not buy. I'd rather know when I'm in the home rather than when I leave. I don't want to leave it up to chance. I want to know these things while I'm in the home. I've got a chance to save it. If they change their mind while I'm in the home, I've still got a chance of getting something. I can dumb it down. I can lower the coverage. I can lower the premium, whatever the case is, but I can still get them to make a decision. And so I would rather know if they're going to change their mind or cancel while I'm still in the home. So this was and then cooling down. Cooling down is extremely important. Hey, what do you like to do for fun? Do you have any big plans coming up? Are you planning to see the grandkids? Take a couple of minutes and just cool down off of business so that when you leave, there's less of a chance that they're going to talk about business because you've already cooled down off of the subject, if that makes sense. If you sell and you run out and you leave, they may still talk about business and they may perceive you as less of a friendly advisor that they have a relationship with and more like a policy peddling agent that's just out there to sell them something, whether it's in their best interest or not. So you need to use that to your advantage. Cool down off of business, kind of wrap up, because most agents will not do that. I know this. We threw this at you quick today. Please feel free to make some notes. Please feel free to call our office or email me, and we'll get this to you for free. Again, this is the 4-step appointment process. This is another episode of the 6-figure focus, where you put focus on making 6 figures. If we put focus on making 6 figures, it will happen. I can turn any agent in the country into a 6-figure producer if they will just follow my steps and they will listen and work hard. It is guaranteed 100%. No matter the sales ability, I can give them the plan to make 6 figures. Again, this is 6-figure focus with Cody Askins from Secure Agent Mentor and the new training website, secureagentmentor.com. You guys got to get over there and check that out. It'll be done very, very soon. Hope you have an incredible, 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 incredible Tuesday. Dominate the week. Finish with significant, incredible numbers. And be ready for tomorrow's another episode of what? 6-figure focus. Thank you.